Hello, folks. Welcome to Monday Evenings with us telling tales. We're here for another lovely, peaceful, happy, calm, and not at all horrific evening of Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer, sometimes all of those other things too, but it's fun. But anyway, before we get to the fun, horrific awfulness of Warhammer, let us do a bit of talking about who we are at Telling Tales and promo of other things we do. So, yes, we are Telling Tales. We do streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, God, I've forgotten the days. I do Thursdays. I should know. Mondays, Wednesdays. Oh, God, stop, brain. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Thank you, Steve, for putting Thursdays as Wicked Ones in the chat. The thing that I literally run every week, doing different systems. So Mondays is currently Warhammer. Before that, we had Jonny Spasm, which was great. Jonny might take over this slot again in 3 or 4 months. We'll see. And Wednesdays is, I didn't check the chat of what it is because it's no longer Simba Room, our very long-running series, which has literally hundreds of episodes you should go check out. The Wednesdays is soon to be Blade Runner. There we go. I knew that. I didn't have to check the chat, can't you tell? And Thursdays is interspersed Wicked Ones, and a system Pierre is running called The Big Wet. We stream them here on Twitch, and we put them out on YouTube after the fact, so check them out. 8 in the evening, and sometimes we do one-shots on the weekends too, which is Saturday or Sunday. The last one of those was really good. It was a Troika, the second time we've done Troika, so yeah, go watch that. Check below for all our media stuff, Discord, Patreon. Thank you very much to our wonderful patrons who support us. We have apparently confirmed the next one-shot. It's going to be Death in Space. I'm not sure which weekend that will be, but it's soon. Check out Discord or our social media for other bits and bobs. And we have, we should mention the Kickstarter. I can help you with that. We have a Kickstarter, which is very exciting. It's a Troika zine thing with cool, it's called The Soft. It's like a really cool, exciting world made of softness and blanket pillow forts, and also it's terrifying. Check that out. Come support us if you fancy. Order it online. And the Death in Space is this Sunday. Chris is running that, I believe. So if you want to see people die in space, come to watch Telling Tales this Sunday. Anyway, before we get any further distracted, because this has been a rather chaotic intro, we are playing Warhammer tonight. Warhammer, you've probably all heard of Warhammer Fantasy 4th edition. I'm going to get it right this time. It's, fighting in the fantastical world, over the top world of Warhammer. In the old world, the 100 system, I won't talk about that stuff anymore, but I will say that it's death and horribleness and war, probably quite inevitable, because it is a brutal world we play in, and we tend to play quite dark role plays here. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring on John for a recap. As I stress you out, John.
Hello.
I was perfectly calm. I don't know what you're talking about.
You were perfectly calm. I was the one typing, this Sunday.
I said it eventually. Oh, God. Good tea. Yeah, so do you want to give us a bit of a roundup what happened the last 2 sessions, I suppose, but what's been going on with folks recently?
Yes. So I'll actually take the character art off for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The first session was sort of kind of a what happened in the intermittent year thing. Henrik wandered around, became a not very well all-known detective. Okri opened up his smithy and lost a lot of money, but it's still operational, and he made a friend who severely injured him the first time they met. So it's all been up and down.
Now he has about a scar.
Yes, a very cool scar. Kruger. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. I think he went back to Middenland and did soldiering duties to try and
sort of like duties for the church, and also went to go and kind of train with the Knights of the White Wolf a little bit, just to see if he could hold his mettle with them, and
but he's currently mercenary bodyguarding for a man called Vile. Gustav Vile. And Boniface went off to go to university, Magic University. He eventually managed to find the right college, which, to be fair, is a college that its entire thing is not being found. So did pretty well with that. And may have sort of become slightly enamored with a death mage in purple robes.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Not
maybe
significant at all.
supposed to be
Purple
enamored
robes.
with, but he's now here on sort of a student social to a random village just southwest of Altdorf, which happens to be the village that Okri's smithy is in, which happens to be the village that Kruger's employer is investigating something in, which happens to be the village that Henrik is tracking down an assassin in.
Yes.
And happens to be the village where two major figures have just recently died. And just happened to be having their funeral on the same day at, unfortunately, exactly the same time.
How's Henrik feeling about all this then?
Henrik is feeling totally fine about it. He's feeling vaguely intrigued. He attended the funeral with Okri because Okri didn't know the people personally, but it's a village that he's trying to become a part of.
Yeah.
And Henrik wanted to talk to someone about shipping goods who was likely to be at the funeral. So we went past to pay our respects. This was the funeral of Dr. Liederman, who is apparently quite well thought of, but partway, as we were waiting for the coffin to arrive, an unknown washerwoman emerged with a small child and started shouting about being betrayed, an illegitimate child, and being shunned and all of this. And Henrik noticed, I think Henrik and Okri both noticed one particular person in the crowd who didn't seem super surprised by this, called Albrecht. They went over to talk to him. He seemed to how do I put it? He didn't really let anything slip.
But also seemed suspicious at the same time, I think was fair to say.
But also seemed suspicious. Henrik went to talk to the washwoman who gave this tragic story of she was from Altdorf and she'd fallen in love with the doctor and had a child by him. And then she'd found out that he had a family. But the story was slightly full of holes, but also she wasn't really letting anything slip.
Yes.
And all of this was happening while we were waiting for the coffin and the procession to come up the streets, and found a bit of a kerfuffle as the other coffin for the countess was also coming up the street, and they were sort of vying for leadership until we ended up with the countess stuck behind the doctor, and poor Kruger, Weil, and Boniface stuck in between the two of them, sort of trying not to notice each other because it was really awkward. Boniface tried to sneak away and found out that his magic sneaking boots were cursed and kept squeaking. And eventually the guards tried to step in to stop a funeral brawl.
As you do.
As you do.
Yep. I think that's about where we were. That's a pretty good summary, thank you. And how's Henrik feeling about all this? We have up Henrik's art as well.
Henrik is sort of, the wheels are turning a bit. He thinks I don't think he's noticed Boniface and Kruger yet, but it is awfully convenient that two leading figures of a village died at the same time in a town that he was tracking down an assassin with a shipment of poison. That also there's some sort of thing going on with this. He doesn't know what's going on, but he's going to find out, basically.
Yeah, sounds good. So actually Henrik's having quite a good time, probably.
Yeah. He's got the thrill of the mystery descending on him. So he's having fun in his way.
Thank you, John. Let's bring on Jonny then to introduce Okri. Hey, Jonny. So,
Hello.
in the graveyard, how's Okri doing?
Okri's okay. He was a little bit outside his comfort zone in the previous session, sort of attempting to use well, there was somebody that he thought looked a little suspiciously interested in what was going on when the woman was shouting about the fact that the doctor and her had apparently had some kind of illegitimate child. So Okri was attempting to scope out this situation and also kind of distract the man by talking to him, which is, not Okri's usual.
Henrik went to have a chat with the woman. Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, he's probably still sort of coming down from that a little bit, I think, by the time that the session ended.
Having to be a friendly dwarf. Oh.
Yeah. And he he has some mild concerns about the forge, but he's sure it'll all be fine.
Yeah, of course. What could go wrong?
So yeah, just sort of soaking in the atmosphere of the day and the strange ways in which it is progressing.
Strange customs these people have.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's bring on Justin then to introduce Boniface. Hey, Justin. How's Boniface and his squeaky shoes?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Definitely not going to be murdered by death magicians after this ceremony. So, really, I would say being a teenager is difficult, and that's Boniface's life in the past, now, perhaps forever. So this, as all teenagers do, they think of themselves as being immortal, and so what is a funeral to a 19-year-old? Probably, doesn't really get it. But what he does get is that crazy death magic is going to cause him to die anytime now, because he was doomed a long time ago to suffer at the hands of purple, the color of death magic, and the people that he is with, the fellow kids, are death magicians.
Some
dangerous times.
it might be fine.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, good. I'd say good. That's where I'm at with where Boniface is.
Good stuff. Yeah, fine. Let's bring on Steve. How is Kruger doing, Steve?
Kruger's okay, although feeling kind of underdressed at the moment because he's at this funeral and Mr. Vile has not allowed him to keep his sword or wear chainmail. So, bit nervous on that front. And kind of a little concerned to see that, that Boniface is in the same location. Just, maybe, the hairs on the back of his neck are beginning to tickle a little bit. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think that's a fair reaction. Also to Boniface's immediate escapades upon you having run into him. I think escapades is the perfect word to Boniface.
Yeah, I'm sure, so far I don't know about any poisoning, I don't think. Kruger's just here to look out for people that might have been in cahoots with this Dr. Lederman.
Absolutely.
No idea about poisoning. Obviously we're fine with poisons. There's no problems with poisons that we've had in the past. So
yeah, absolutely. Can't imagine anything going wrong with any poisons at all. They're perfectly harmless. I should remember as well. I did say I want to go through everyone's new objectives and things. So if we could I'll just go from top to bottom. So John, what's your short-term objective now for Henrik?
My short-term objective is investigate assassin leads.
Makes sense. Actually, let's do both. What's your long-term objective? Because you accomplished your old one, didn't you? So you have a new one.
My long-term objective is revenge on Matilda.
Love it.
Who's the rat-catching assassin
from the first arc. Perfect.
From the first arc.
I think that could kind of include revenge on the bloody hands as a whole, but Matilda definitely included in that as well. It's fun. She might come back again. Maybe.
She better.
Steve, what's Kruger's short and long-term objectives?
Short is keeping this my employer, Mr. Vile, safe whilst we're in town. Hopefully, he's not some sort of sacrificial plot victim. That would be upsetting. But long-term objective is to, as before, to become strong enough to join an elite fighting force to protect his homeland from the various beastmen and whatnot.
Yeah.
So currently, originally he was thinking about maybe trying to join up with the Swords of Ulrich. Now it's probably trying to join one of the chapters of the Knights of the White Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's worth saying. I think all the characters but Henrik have not completed their long-term objective. Well, I think Boniface has changed. Is that right, Justin? Your short and long-term ones?
Yeah, and that my short term is to get rid of these squeaky shoes that are really my stealth rolls, and my long term is to not register with a Magic College, but to graduate from Magic College.
Yeah, which you're quite close to actually, which is nice.
I have really been buckling down, and
yeah. Hopefully they don't find out about this secret magic excursion where you're not doing secret magics.
everyone knows that wizards have to blow off steam sometimes. Sometimes it involves sacrificing young grey wizards. Sometimes it is just going for a jaunt. Could be either one.
We'll find out soon. Okri, what are Okri's short and long-term objectives?
So my short-term objective is now to break even on the forge.
Really close, just almost there. Any day now, you're going to break even.
Yeah. And I've just spotted actually that in long term, I did have buying my own forge. But I have like a 3-stepped thing. So I was kind of taking it that I might need all 3. So I had selling my first weapon as a graduated artisan, buying my own forge, and then travel to Karak Azul and offer a weapon to Grungni, basically.
I feel like that last one might be too big. That might be your second long-term objective. I'll tell you what it is, because you haven't bought your own forge yet. You're still in debt. And a dwarf would absolutely think they don't own their forge if they owe someone money for it. So I think once you have paid off all your debt and this forge is yours and you're making a business of it, then you would consider your forge yours, and that might be your long-term objective.
But yes, those are them.
Yeah, it's worth having these in mind as well, because you quite a chunk of XP. I think because you got your XP, didn't you, John? Can you remember how much it was? It was quite a lot, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but it
was. Is it 500 or something like that?
Yeah, it was like the equivalent of like 5 sessions, something like that. Nice, cool. Okay, so we are, and I'll tell you what I'll do to start the session, because I do have this and I haven't used it yet. Let me make sure it's the right one. Pictures. Let's see if pictures are going to work for me today, folks. Yeah, it's looking good. Oh, it's looking good. Oh, it's freezing. It's not looking. It's looking good. And I can share that. And
As ever, a seamless experience.
Well, you can't do this immediately. This is the live experience, folks. So this is the Garden of Morr, which you are in, which we have a lovely map of.
Why would we need a map for? What's this about?
Look, finding these burial plots is very complicated.
You are all. Can you see the mouse? You can. You are all basically at the entranceway. Some of the players are actually still just probably about here, just near the entranceway, and the others of you are just here. You see what I mean? So Father Erwin has just greeted everyone basically at the front gate and has let some people past. So the Stillman party, the Dr. Lederman party, have just been let in and are kind of all milling between the 2 entrance buildings here and moving slowly inwards, and the others are still outside. Go on, John.
I'm just going to say, because I know some people prefer to listen, what you're referring to is we were all gathered near the south entrance.
Yes, we can do a description. It's kind of the south entrance way has a big gate. The rest of it is graveyard, and in front of you can see a large temple. Basically, it's effectively almost a bit Greek-esque, so it's quite open with black stone columns or dark grey stone columns, and you can see all the way through it effectively. with kind of statues and things on the inside, quite morbid skulls and things in the motifs on the building, as you'd expect from the Garden of Morr. And around in front of you is kind of a line of posh crypts, all the biggest, poshest family crypts all around the center there, as you can see, and then they get kind of the cheaper plot around the rest of the graveyard. So we'll stop saying that now, because that's we might come back to that later, just to give you an idea for the area. So as I was saying, the group are slowly making their way up that procession, and the kind of disturbance that this woman called, I don't think you caught her name or anything, have you? This woman and the child that she had.
She didn't offer it.
No, they've kind of not. They're still kind of talking to people and making a bit of a scene of, I think Henrik's probably convinced this is a scene at this point, if you see what I mean. Maybe Okri is too, I don't know. They're making a scene deliberately, it seems like to you, but they're not in the way or stopping anything. And the group slowly proceeds inside the graveyard. And are you kind of going to... Most of the mourners seem to be kind of gathering behind it, so I'm assuming that's what Henrik and Okri will probably do as well.
Yeah, unless there's any particular reason to be anywhere else, I think that's where...
There might have been if anyone had made a perception roll.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. What are the kids doing, my fellow kids?
I'm actually going to make a roll for them. And I also would like, given that's what's happening, everyone to make me a +20 perception roll. Please, God, notice each other. Now, you know what? Now, we'll make the roll. It's fun.
I was going to say I might actually stay out of the procession.
Okay. Sounds good.
To keep an eye on everything. But do you still want me to roll to notice people?
Yeah, you can still roll.
I rolled 51 under 55.
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 6. Eat shit, John. And,
Wow.
that's 6 success levels.
What did Kruger get?
I rolled a 12 under my incredible perception of 24.
Isn't this great?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be
it's
nice?
not. You know, everyone can be Boniface.
Wouldn't it be nice if this had been an important role? So you all notice each other. Boniface, you first of all, and Henrik, first of all, it doesn't really matter. Immediately spot the other two people you hadn't noticed in the rest of the group. You act on that as you will, I suppose. The rest of the wizards seem to be kind of milling around the entranceway, not really deciding what to do, Boniface. So it's up to you if you want to stay with them.
Cool, I'll hang out with them, I guess. But I'll give her like a kind of what I take to be a professional, dignified bow towards Okri. Like I would imagine professionals give each other who are like, masters of their own trades. How I imagine the city that the artisans greet each other.
The artisans don't greet each other like that way, the mockery.
Yeah, I will sort of raise an eyebrow a little and then do a slight nod back.
I'm trying it out. It might not hold. Next week I might do something different.
It seems like all four of you noticed that the three other of the people you knew back in Grunberg are here. It's up to you if anyone else approaches.
I guess I meet Kruger's eyes and just kind of cock my head.
Yeah. Kruger's, I think, going to get a sinking feeling at this point. The circumstance of the four of us being in the same place.
It didn't work out well for us last time, did it?
Well, it just seemed to sort of precipitate events, and
almost like a narrative.
So I think I'll sort of, exchange glances with Henrik and look at Okri, and then probably shuffle over to Mr. Vile and just say, it appears that some of my colleagues are here. Hopefully it won't complicate matters.
Why would it?
Right.
Are they likely to be problematic?
No, not
Looking
in
at
that
body
way.
mass.
Just that I think I possibly mentioned exploits at Grunberg.
Those colleagues. Interesting.
Yes.
And you weren't expecting to see any of them?
No.
I think Vile will get a very thoughtful look, but not say anything more. And then probably go on.
Do I recognize, as a detective, do I recognize the man that Kruger is talking to?
Ooh, I'm going to give you a roll for it because you have been. Something like there's a streetwise sort of thing, isn't there? Or is that stealth? No, probably not stealth.
The stealth. Hang on. I'll tell you what. Let me just check what my career skill is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That might be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I not have it marked down? And where?
I know that it's in
All
italics on the careers page of your choice, but that's all I know.
And you just got to find the careers page of your choice. How long can that possibly take in this ginormous book?
Oh my god!
I usually have the thing up and running, but
Perception.
Deception.
I have it up and running. It doesn't help.
Well, in that case, maybe a deception roll, but it's going to be a -20 because this is tricky. This person doesn't want themselves to be well known.
I rolled an 8. That is 2 success levels.
You know this man is Gustav Weil. You are aware that they have been working in and around, probably all over Reichland, but a lot around kind of Altdorf and the populated places. You're not sure what they are. Maybe a witch hunter, inquisitor, something like that. They hunt down dark magics of some sort, but you don't really know much about that, and you haven't touched that sort of thing before. I think they would recognize you. You know, you've kind of maybe like shared a quick word at a guild somewhere, but you don't know each other particularly at all.
Henrik sort of conspiracy alarm bells are starting to ring slightly louder in the back of his head.
Got it. I think also because Val's a very observant man, I think he's probably clocked you. And since you rolled such a good perception, you notice. You kind of both meet each other's eye contact for a split second, but there's nothing else. There's not even a nod between you. You both know you see each other effectively. Kruger, Vile turns to you and goes, I need to get close to that coffin. You stay back here and watch everyone if you can. See if anyone seems to pay particular attention to me. Or, well, particularly that one, pointing at the apprentice who he pointed out previously. The apprentice of Dr. Lederman, who is dead and in said coffin.
Right. That Christoph was the apprentice, wasn't it?
Yes, Christoph, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, because I didn't have the name in front of me. And without another word, he heads off unless you stop him. He moves fairly casually and swiftly through the crowd, like almost seeming like he's trying to get to someone and then casually doing it to someone else. He's not a particularly large man, and he blends in very easily. You almost lose him, actually. It's not a big crowd, but and then he's going to do something at the coffin. Okay. You kind of actually roll me a perception, Kruger. And Henrik, you've clocked in, so you can roll me a perception as well, because you're probably at least somewhat paying attention to this.
What level is this roll?
Kruger, you have it flat. Henrik, you're probably a bit further away, so minus 20.
Well, I think I'll spend a fortune point to reroll that.
Mm-hmm.
Rolled a 90.
I will also
That's not right. I've just rolled another 90. That's not allowed to happen.
Would you like another reroll? I can give you another reroll if you really wish for it. There's no cost whatsoever to said reroll.
I don't believe you.
Take the devil's bargain.
Whispers in your ear.
Devil's bargain.
You know you want it.
Give it a go.
I just want to check it's a reroll, not automatic success. No, reroll any test. Yes. This is the you know this mechanic. This is the take a corruption point automatically to gain a reroll at any point.
No, I don't want corruption.
Am I right in thinking there's also a thing spend fortune points to increase your success level?
Yes.
Can I spend 2 of those?
Yeah, I think you can spend as many as you like. It's just very expensive.
I'm going to spend 2 so I can pass.
Okay. Kruger, you somewhat lose sight of Gustav Weil in the crowd, and then after a moment you see him again, kind of almost just slowing down, not turning towards you directly, just slowing down, so you catch up with him again. You didn't see him do anything. You presume he reached the coffin, but you didn't see any obvious reaction from the apprentice, Christoph. Henrik, was that a flat success then? Or as in, it was a 1 success level, effectively, or a 0 success
yes.
level?
Hang on. My target was 27. I've rolled 39. I spent 2 points. So it'll be 19. So yeah, 1 success level.
Okay, that is significant. So you see, because there's a lot of information you could get. So are you most in... No, because you only know of Gustav Weil, whereas Kruger knew about potentially the people to be watching. So you're watching Gustav Weil. Sorry, it's complicated. You see Gustav Weil move up to the coffin slowly, very subtly. You almost lose track of it, and you're really trying to focus on, you see what I mean? You'll get in the right position. He sidles up to it, and you see him just ever so gently reach his hand up in a way that no one else sees, slides it up like that and back down, or you think no one else sees, as far as you can tell. He stands still for a moment after having slid his hand up on the coffin, and then pulls back again towards Kruger, who you assume he's associated with or working with or something. Kruger, Gustav comes back to you and goes, "It's as I feared. There is darkness to this. Expect, well, I'm sure Christoph knows more. We're going to have to speak to him very soon."
Right. Well, perhaps my colleague over there, and I'll nod towards Henrik. He is well. If you want to get to the bottom of something, then Henrik is particularly skilled in that area. So
that's one of your associates, then. I see.
Yes.
Yes, we could work together. I've met him before.
Oh.
I think, Henrik, you're probably paying attention to the group. You get the subtlest nod from Gustav, and he kind of does a subtle gesture with his head, which you take as come over here. Boniface, are you close by to Kruger, do you think, or have you deliberately pulled away?
I'm with my friends, but I feel like with my high success, with my 6 success levels, I'm probably keeping an eye on.
Yeah, that's
everything
true.
That's going on.
You probably, I'm going to say you didn't quite see exactly what Henrik saw, but with your success levels, you definitely saw Gustav Weil, and you saw him slip off towards the coffin as well.
Cool.
You know what? You did get so many success levels. I feel like there's a little something else I'm going to give you as well. What would you? There's so many things it could be.
Spot on your pair of shoes.
You notice that the
dead man's dropped his shoes.
The woman. The woman who seems to be making a bit of a scene. You would have noticed that woman as well. You don't know who it is. You weren't.
Yeah.
You notice, because it's kind of, you can see bits and bobs through the crowd, that the child who she has at her arms seems to be staring directly at the coffin when Gustav Weil moves up towards it.
Cool. That's good to know. And my mates, are we talking about, going to the cool death magic stuff?
Yeah, they're talking. I think they're actually really curious about what the heck's going on at this funeral, and they're like laughing about the first and wrecked party behind you, all yelling and getting all frustrated, having to wait in the rain, looking all glum and getting their clothes wet. And
these death wizards, just death.
How far away, Boniface? I mean, I'm willing. The group,
What-
the rest of the coffin's going into the
Yeah.
like churchyard now. Are you actually just going to stay and leave?
I
And
think
waiting to see
I
what these
think
folks have done?
I am at the moment staying with friends in that I am not really tied to this funeral. I'm here really with my friends,
Mhm.
quote unquote, and I'm not really tied to this funeral. But I'm interested to see what the rest of the gang is doing. I can't
Mhm.
believe they all agreed to meet up and didn't tell me they were meeting up. That's fucking rude.
Mhm, yeah.
So I think I am curious about that. And if they all disappeared off after this coffin, I probably would find out what was going on.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you? So they are moving into the graveyard now.
It is
everyone.
truly a betrayal, but
This-
I will
this-
be.
This is the point when you're following. Then I assume.
Okay, well then I'll ask if the gang wants to move further in or not.
Yeah, I think they will probably as well.
Cool.
The rest
Let's
of them
do
will be
that
like,
then.
yeah, sure, why not? You know, this seems to be an open. No one's not invited, so this seems fun.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okri, are you kind of gathering up with what seems like the other three now? What do you
Yeah,
think?
absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. As the party of young wizards walk in, and Henrik is walking over, and Okri's maybe on the way as well, to you and Gustav. Gustav's head whips round, and he suddenly looks directly back at Boniface and the group of young wizards, who are wearing colourful clothes, some of them, but it's worth saying aren't dressed. You know, they don't look like wizards as such.
We haven't graduated and got our robes yet.
Exactly, yeah. And he does kind of a frowning face and then goes, young wizards. 9 of them. Why? This will make things... I don't know. What are they doing here?
Boniface had said that they've just visited to, I don't know, practice magic or...
Wizard
It didn't.
business.
Practice magic. Is this fellow of yours, Boniface, an accomplished wizard?
I have yet to determine that.
I think I think Gustav Val's eyebrows raise quite suspiciously at you.
We haven't seen each other for some time. He's been studying at the college, but
Yeah, I suppose you aren't aware at what point his studies are. Then I won't press further. There's bigger things to worry about. Henrik, was it?
Henrik Fleischer.
Yes. Good to see you again. This might come in handy. I'll tell you what. What school is your friend over there, Boniface? Sorry, you didn't say the name. What school is your friend over there? He doesn't know the name.
would I know? I don't know.
You've been communicating.
I don't know
Yes.
if I'd have mentioned it, but I am like I have like dyed all of my previously fine clothes grey. So
Right.
Yeah, but
okay,
grey is
I guess-
like grey is pretty bait, like so you like
If you knew
You could be
Boniface,
like,
you'd probably guess
grey.
that, yeah.
maybe off white.
Yeah, I'm not particularly certain. Although, yes, his clothes are grey.
I think. Let me make one quick roll. Sorry. Okay.
Let's
think,
leave him and run away.
at
Agreed.
this point, Boniface. Sorry, I'm going to make you roll another perception roll, Boniface.
Come on, 6. I got this one. This is what you want to hear. 81. So,
Okay.
what was the? How many 6 bonus success levels are there to this?
This was a plus 20.
In that case, I pass. Wait, no, don't pass. No, I fail.
Okay. All of a sudden, behind you, Augusta, who is the graduated wizard who is part of your group, who is leading all the rest of them, goes, "Come on, this is getting boring. Let's head off," and whips around. And the rest of the group kind of go, "What?" Oh, and then kind of move to follow her. It takes them a moment.
Ridiculous. Having to choose between my new friends and my old friends. Death and maybe making out with a girl. They call it the praying mantis dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm going to tell them. I'll ask them where they're going and say I'm going to stick around for a bit longer.
Yeah. I think they point out a direction for you, kind of another half mile up the road.
I can find that.
A farmyard.
But anyone who else wants to stick around here, it's going to be really cool. Just putting it out there.
Make me a. No, I'm kidding. They don't stick with you.
I'm gonna trudge over to slowly make my way over. Oh, hi,
Boniface,
here.
Make me a intuition roll, which is we'll see why. I'm sorry,
okay.
There's a lot of rolls going on.
I got a 17, which is definitely a success.
Yes.
So
this is using your
3 success levels.
Whatever it is, reading the winds of magic skill.
Okay, so 4 success levels then.
This person in front of you is a wizard. They are absolutely attuned to
the one with Kruger.
Gustav File, yes. You don't know the name yet, but you can see.
Can I see what color the magic is?
How many success levels do you get?
4 success levels.
It's a purple wind.
Oh, for fuck! Stupid frying pan fire. You can just maybe what Kruger hears under his breath is frying pan fire.
Amazing.
I think Boniface, as you walk up, this man will immediately take a few steps over to you and just kind of say to you quietly, "You're not graduated yet, are you? Which school?"
I'll kind of address him kind of formally and do I owe him anything if he's not from my school? Do I need to tell him shit if he's not my team? He's not a teacher.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
I'll go. Then in that case, I will I'll probably say, well, wait up. I don't trust death magic, so I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to say I'm not graduated yet. I haven't picked a school yet. I'm still in deciding.
Okay, well, he knows that's a kind of bullshit, but he won't question you.
There's a you don't have to pick a school straight away, do you? So
yeah, kind of. It's fine. It's fine. He'll be like, I think he'll be suspicious.
I mean, as a wizard, would he be able to put together that a wizard who won't tell me his school will probably be a grey wizard?
And wears Grey's robes? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a robes yet. Off-white. Dusty roads.
I think Gustav Fowle will take a few steps to the side and kind of gather you all in, eyeing for you, figuring out that you're this party of people now, who Kruger's talking about before. I go, well, you might all come in handy to have on side. Kruger, I should own up to you. And then now that your colleague knows, and he gets out, he pulls up a small chain, and on it is a medallion of what basically looks like a little sand timer, like that. And you might not actually know, but then he will say after the fact, I'm with the Amethyst School, and I am here investigating the necromantic arts.
I could have mouthed to everyone, death magic.
It's worth saying he's looking around very, just checking at this point. I have reason to be suspicious of the good doctor, sadly. Please keep this well under wraps. I believe he was a very popular man.
It seems he may not have been as popular as he first seemed.
What do you mean?
I mean, before you arrived, there was a woman and a child claiming the good doctor had been seeing her in Altdorf.
Interesting.
Seemed to cause quite a stir. Also didn't seem to have an awful lot of facts behind her story.
You think this was made up?
Or a partial truth.
I wonder what purpose that would serve. I cannot see how it connects to my investigations. Hmm. And what is his other funeral? I hope it is no difficulty extra for us.
If I may say, Mr. Vile, I am here on my own investigations,
Hmm.
and I have a hearty distrust of coincidences.
May I ask what it is you're investigating, as I have been so forthright about my own?
There is a shipment of Black Lotus due to come into town at some point,
Hmm.
and a famed assassin that seems to favor it. I was hoping to pick up her trail.
I see. But you have not found any evidence of this assassin yet?
I only arrived yesterday.
I had not reason to suspect either of these deaths in the town, but are you thinking otherwise?
As I say, I have a hearty mistrust of coincidences.
I understand. I think everyone make me an intuition roll at -20.
Fail.
Hang on, intuition. That's
Wait.
that's I, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not in, which is
At
intelligence.
-20.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it harder? Yeah.
Yes. Isn't I... Wait, you have intelligence and initiative at the top stats.
Oh,
Isn't
sorry,
intuition one of the
yes.
ones below? Yeah.
Intuition's
yes,
one of the
intuition is a
skills.
skill, which is
Yeah.
based off initiative. Okay, yeah, fine.
That is sadly a fail.
Unsurprisingly, based on the fact that I had a 5% chance of success, I did not succeed.
Wow, that is an impressively low intuition.
So I've got. I'll be aiming for a roll under 4 because my intuition is 24. Oh my god! I rolled a 4.
Fantastic. Kruger is like, wait a second.
Kruger.
Like steam coming off Kruger's head.
You're focusing so hard. Perhaps it's because you know Vile a little better than the rest of the group. You see Vile just for a split second hesitate and then say nothing more. There's something else that he thought of that he didn't share with the group. Whether you want to press him on, it's up to you. He was just saying about the assassin. They were just chatting about it. And that neither of these deaths seem suspicious, but he doesn't know.
I will sort of look between him and Henrik, and maybe we need to revisit this later on. I'll think. Won't say anything just yet.
Okay. The group kind of make it to the altar and the temple in the middle of the. It's a bit of a grey grim day, but it's worth saying the actual Garden of Morr, the graveyard, is very pretty for what it is. Beautiful black marble kind of statues and crypts as you walk past. The traditional black roses of Morr as well, which grow all over the gardens here, wild and kept, along with other flowers and decorations. Does anyone else specifically want something they wanted to do or investigate while they're coming to the ceremony?
While I'm on, so I can't practice magic outside of the college apart from self-defense. But if I was doing it under the supervision of another licensed magician, would that be would I feel like that would be an appropriate setting to do it if I was,
I think if you had their permission, as in not to do the individual spell, but if you had a kind of, they weren't just in the pub. It's not like there's someone over there.
Yeah. If I was,
you're kind of like, we've acknowledged, in some form that this is a situation where it might be needed.
I just want to. I'll put it out there that if there's anything that I could do to be of use, I'm occasionally all right at finding out information. Although these boots of mine are awful squeaky.
Boniface, that group you were with, do you know?
Yep.
Do you know anything more about why they were coming here?
I think they wanted to looking at this other wizard. They were here just to blow off some steam, you know. Go and it's could be awful stuffy in the college, and
It just seems, well, I don't know. Perhaps the proximity to Henrik is giving me ideas, but
well, I mean, some of them were of a certain school of. No, not that I don't trust death magicians, but I've never really trusted death magicians, you know.
I think Gustav Weil turns to you and says, "Where were they going?"
Over there to a, I think they said something about a barn, or maybe it was something else. A building over there. I can point in that direction.
Are you telling the truth when you say this?
Yeah. I'm fine telling the truth. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. He will go. Perhaps.
Boniface naturally defers to people of power and responsibility.
I think Val will just nod and go, perhaps I'll have to go have a look later. Don't want there to be too much of a mess.
They don't kill the younglings. Never mind. But yeah, no, but if there's anything I could do to... I got very good a few years ago overhearing things.
That might come in handy. I think it takes a moment because it's actually quite a crowd, but Vile will point out Christoph, the... I think you probably do it to Henrik and perhaps Onkar as well, the rest of the group, basically. We'll point out Christoph, the apprentice to the good doctor, as someone to pay attention to. And perhaps particularly to Boniface will be like, if you can listen into any conversations he might have, that could be very helpful.
I will also point out to him the woman, if she's still around, and Albrecht.
Yes, that sounds good. He will clock them both as well and just nod. Father Erwin starts his sermon. It's actually quite a beautiful ceremony. You know, you stand and you listen, you pay attention. And yeah, you rather enjoy it, to be honest. I think you're almost a bit enraptured by the words. It's a little bit moving. He's a very good speaker. And it seems like the good doctor really did do some wonderful things in his life. You know, there's people, despite the besmirching of his name upon arrival, there's people who are nodding along, and someone's like, "Hey," when they go, you know, great acts of charity and the like, and someone yells out, "He saved my leg," and stuff. You know, this sort of thing happens in the group. So there seems to be quite a lot of goodwill. Excuse me, well, there's just one quick thing I need to check.
Let me know if you'd like me to make a roll to eavesdrop during this process, or I can. If I'm successful, I can do it for 3 minutes at a time.
You are kind of keeping an eye on Christoph, and he doesn't seem to be talking with anyone. He's slightly, but he's kind of behind the other side. The old lady who you assume is the widow, she's dressed up as such, and a few family members are nearby, and she's not far from her, kind of behind them, looking kind of dour and downcast as you'd expect. And he doesn't really seem to say very much. There's a few other people with him who you assume are maybe colleagues or other apprentices of the doctor or something like that. You don't really know. What is everyone doing then? So Boniface sounds like he's mostly keeping an eye on Christoph. The rest of the group just kind of listen to the eulogy, or do you have anything else particular you were trying to do while this sermon is going on?
I mean, my job is keeping Gustav safe. Although now I'm kind of wondering how much I can do. I don't know whether I have much knowledge about, you know, the capabilities of a.
I think maybe do you think you might have even slightly voiced your concerns for a moment, or do you think this is something you've kept totally to yourself? Are you a bit like, what can I do against something like this to fight?
Yeah, I mean, you know, big angry things I can usually hit, but I'm not even sure that Kruger's had much experience with. There was the spell, the spell in the first town, Wallen, wasn't it, where Kruger came under the effects of something briefly.
Yeah.
but I don't think
Not
Krieg
really.
has much experience of spells. I have to
dark
counter them
magics
now.
and the thing. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, I think if any of this kind of shows on your face or whatever, Val will just reassuringly pat you on the shoulder, running up like that because you're a bit taller than him, and we'll just go. We are more likely to be in danger from the people here than we are from any mystical thing. I think that's why I need your service.
Like Boniface is just mumbling, like easy to say as a death man.
Yeah, so I'll just be sort of scanning the crowd, I guess, and trying to.
Absolutely, yeah. Okri, Henrik, what are you kind of up to? Just following the group along, or did you have anything else you wanted to do?
Can I still see the other procession from where we are?
Yes, you can. They're quite visible. They're kind of halfway up the aisle behind you, waiting very impatiently for this ceremony to finish.
Yeah, I think if they all just look like they're waiting,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll keep my focus on this funeral for now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the washerwoman.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
What are the chances that Henrik is sat next to me?
Sure. Why not? I think it's a
Sure.
standing affair, but yes, you're
Or stood next to me. While not getting too distracted myself from what I'm looking at, I do say to Henrik, the college has been very interesting. Lots of people there are interested in what's going on with things around the world, under the world, that kind of thing.
I see.
Problem with wizards, though, is they don't get out very much. At least those who teach at the college, they're always looking for bits of information.
Perhaps you could introduce me.
Maybe. That's all I've got to say on that one.
Okri, what were you doing?
I think I might try and sidle close to Albrecht
Mm-hmm.
again.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And just be in that sort of area. And also just generally milling, partly like I'm not even sure that there's anything worth investigating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of milling and in a way almost, because this is sort of my town now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also, mildly invested in the service as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to be sort of partaking in that sense as well.
Okay, gotcha. So I would like everyone to make me a perception roll. This is going to be for a different... No, Henrik to make me an intelligence roll. Everyone else to make me a perception roll. They're all for different things, which is fun.
Flat.
Henrik's will be plus 20. Everyone else will be flat. Without 100.
Not 100, but not far off. I'm going to spend a is it fate or fortune? Whichever one it is. Yeah. Oh, that's better. Did you say flat? Sorry, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, still not a success, but no longer really bad.
I'm sorry. Perceptions are hard for some characters. It's a bit mean, isn't it? Did anyone have success?
Yeah. Are we in bright light?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's bright.
Then I get 1 success level.
Mm-hmm.
For an intelligence roll, I get 3 success levels.
Very nice. Mm-hmm.
I failed twice, rolled once, used a fortune.
I'm so sorry. Okay, Boniface, I think you're glancing around a little bit. Perhaps I imagine of all the characters, Boniface is the most likely to just get bored of listening. So you probably look around.
It's true. It's true.
And you see some people right up at the far end of the graveyard, the north end.
Yep.
They look like they're running with a coffin. And you're kind of like, what? And you look back at the group and you look back at them and you see they now drop the coffin right near the back wall, quite a long way away. And as you watch, kind of just completely confounded as to what's going on, you see them kind of hold their hands to their head, looking at the coffin, which is apparently broken open. And then they start running away from the coffin and back.
That's peculiar.
Along the back
Say out
wall
loud.
into the graveyard.
It looked like over there were some grave robbers. I say to anyone listening.
Gustav Weil will hear you and be like, and look immediately in that direction. But I think
just over there, they dropped a coffin. Then they
I'm gonna
ran off.
Let's see how quick people's perception is. Okay, so he's perceptive enough and he sees them as well as the coffin.
Can we still see, like, there's one coffin being buried, I hope?
No, the ceremony's on a dais and then he's going to go to the family crypt.
Okay, so that coffin's still fine. The
Yes.
coffin behind us is still... This is a third coffin.
Apparently, yes.
Cool.
Right. Just like that.
I think you
Okay.
all just glance the kind of legs disappearing behind. It's effectively behind one of the big pillars. You can't see past from where you are, and you kind of, as you look round a bit, you can't see them anymore. Perhaps they've gone behind some bushes or down the hill a little bit to where you can't see any longer. You can still see the coffin there, for what it's worth. They've just left it laying. It looks like it's broken open. Before we get on to anything else, Henrik, you also made that roll and you got 3 successes. Henrik, I think you're distracted. You're the only person who doesn't look because you have just realized that the woman definitely does not have the child with her anymore, which is weird. Because who would leave her child at a funeral at an event like this?
So the woman's there, but the child isn't.
Yeah. She seems to be looking around a little bit puzzled, but she doesn't seem to be overly alarmed.
I'm going to look around for the child.
Give me a perception at -20.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. This
doing
has to be
all
hard
of the
one.
hard ones.
I'll tell you what, if you actively stand up to look, as in you're moving around a bit to look, I'll give you it flat. If you're staying where you are and not making it obvious, it's got to be a -20.
Mr. Kruger, you don't want me to go and look over at those coffins, do you? I could just sneak out.
I think... well, yes, we need somebody to...
I would like to stay with this coffin, but perhaps if you would like to escort your colleague here and have a look, that might be sensible. I'm sure I'll be safe for a moment.
How's your roll, John?
I used a fortune point and failed both times.
How much did you fail by on your best?
On my best, it was 53 over 47.
Okay, so
Because
it's
I
only
did
-4.
stand up, because Henrik does not care about social conventions.
In that case, you do see her, the small girl, dashing out of the effectively the kind of raised area of the temple behind one of the pillars. You just catch a leg and a cloak, but you're sure it was her. She was
Running
Sorry, go on.
out of the temple.
Out of the temple, yes. She was right behind Christoph. Is anyone acting at any of these things?
Well, I was getting up to go towards the coffin,
Yeah.
despite rolling a 3 and having like several bonuses to stealth rolls. Obviously, the roll fails because that is the magic of the curse. I rolled a 3. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. That's just gone.
Take
It's in
the
the wind.
shoes off.
You could go barefoot. Yeah, no, still keeping the boots on.
But yeah, I
Everyone
still
turns to watch the squeaky man in the
Oh
middle
my
of
God.
this sacred funeral service.
And I'm having to escort you.
Am I even aware of this yet? Because I did not roll well on.
Well, you're aware of the squeaky boots.
Yeah,
looked-
yeah.
You looked in the same direction as the others, and you saw the coffin that was talked that
Okay.
Boniface mentioned. I think that's it.
Can I use the squeaky boots as a distraction to go after the
Go
child?
for it. Stealth. At
It definitely is a distraction.
I will
Like
go.
I'm walking, like squeaking through.
No, you know
people,
what?
Like
You just succeed. Everyone's looking at Boniface.
Can I also send Rinder ahead?
I'd forgotten about Rinder.
I hadn't forgotten about Rinder. I'm very
What-
disappointed that Rinder didn't come and greet me.
I don't think you can, because I don't think Rinder will have a direction or where to go. Rinder will just run off, if you see what I mean. Rinder doesn't know who you're going after.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes, Henrik just dashes away. No one even knows where Henrik is gone, because everyone's looking at Boniface, including Gustav, who's just like,
Excuse me. Sorry. Just through here. Thanks. No,
What
honestly,
flashbacks?
like my real condolences.
once you're like 10 feet away and everyone stopped looking, they're silent as anything again.
Yeah.
Kruger, are you just following Boniface out of this place?
Yes. It's all just come flooding back. I've had a lovely year away, hitting
I'm
things.
sorry. I'm really
At
sorry.
least he hasn't punched anyone yet.
Well,
I think Gustav
The night is young.
will turn and will look at the group, which is now literally just Okri, seeing the others leave, and go, I don't know your name, but if you would remain with me, I would be grateful. Having someone here that I can at least slightly trust is worthy of help.
All right.
Look like you know how to swing those arms anyway. So I think we should go with Henrik first, who's going to make... What's the best for speed? Just simply being fast. Do you think?
Athletics?
Yeah, athletics probably, unless there's a particular skill you can think to use with it.
Ride? Navigation?
Right.
No, yeah, athletics is probably it.
Mhm.
Why did I not put more points in athletics when I had it?
the career system in.
You keep your old career skills, though.
Yeah, but you can't
You
level them
don't.
up
Yeah,
once you change career.
you can't level them up unless it's your active career, and it was my rat catcher career skill, but not my investigator.
No,
So you can go back and...
No. That's for talents. For skills, you can still level them up.
Oh, but is that in the same...
Really?
I thought if you change to a whole different career...
If you go sideways, you can. But if it's in the same, I don't know. Henrik went to investigator, didn't he? He's not a rat
Yeah.
catcher anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't
You
get
level
the
up,
old
you
rat catcher
can level
ones,
up
but you get
low
the
ones,
investigator.
but-
So you can get the old investigator ones, that's true, but you can't get any of the rat catcher
Yeah.
ones.
But it's a pass. If it's a flat, then it's a pass.
Yes, it was... actually, I was going to give you a +20, but that's fine.
Then it's 2 success levels.
Nice. You dash speedily out, and just as you're passing, and this is important, and you have a choice here, you can catch sight of this small girl dashing basically down the side of the temple and immediately into the bushes. You can follow, but as you're passing Christoph, he keels straight over backwards. Like almost sliding back down the steps next to you. Flash decision, what does Henrik do? Keep chasing or stop?
Stop.
Okay.
Look at Christoph.
Christoph is foaming at the mouth. You know this. He's been poisoned. In fact, you're studying this stuff. You know it's Black Lotus.
Is there any obvious sign of, say, needle stab wounds?
I think that's probably a bit difficult to ascertain in the panic of the moment.
And he's close.
I mean, it's
yeah.
a fairly safe assumption. You're not going to get a lot of Black Lotus around, John.
I'm going to raise a shout.
Okay. I think probably people have already started going, oh, seeing this, because he was standing up in the group. But yes, people start to swarm over. The ceremony is abruptly paused. Let's go back to Kruger and Boniface first, though. So are you planning on now dashing straight? I guess Boniface is kind of the lead. Are you planning on dashing straight to the scene? Are you planning on kind of getting away a bit? Are you going to go straight to the coffin or try and chase the guy?
I think a fast walk to the scene, but we're not...
Are you trying to intercept those two people, or are you trying
unless I wouldn't have done that immediately, unless Steve, you think Kruger would want to do that.
Kruger, you did get a glimpse of the people, so you could kind of direct that way if you thought that was sensible.
The people carrying the coffin, I presume.
Yeah, who dashed out of view, but you can guess the direction they were going. Yes, those two.
Should we run after them?
I think do we split the party?
Boniface likes to run. He's very good at running.
Are you very good at running?
Well, not very good. I got 50 in the skill.
Oh, well, that's better than me then. Boniface, go after them and see where they're going.
Yes, sir. Right. I got
Kruger, where are you
63.
going? Are you following Boniface, or are you intending to go to the coffin?
I'll go to the coffin, I think.
Okay.
I'll regret this, I'm sure.
I can only add one bonus success level with a
Fortune point.
fortune. I might as well just re-roll. That's a 50% chance of succeeding, which succeeds. I get flat success levels.
Nice job. Okay, so Boniface speeds off in slightly to the northwest. We could bring up the map again, actually, to come have a look at that. I'll tell you what, I might bring up the map and then do my little thing, and you can have a look at where things are going on as well.
Boniface sets off in his usual, like, lanky gait and run. Actually, no, he's not lanky. He's really short. So his legs really
like sort of blur.
I like to imagine that Boniface is somehow still lanky, despite being short. He's like
lanky and short.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine. Cool. We can bring up the map now, and I'll show you kind of vague directions of where we are. So you were kind of in this side of the temple here, to the right-hand side. Christoph was in the top here. So Henrik, you dashed out there. You saw the child dash into this kind of bushy area here, and you've stopped to the stairs on the top here, which Christoph has just gone out of. Boniface and Kruger, you saw those people up here somewhere. That's where the coffin is, right at the back. They dashed off this way to the west, to the left. So I think Boniface has probably gone like this. If you see what I mean, kind of between
leaping over gravestones.
Oh, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And Kruger, you're probably going hurrying straight up this pathway to get up here to that coffin. Does that make sense to everyone?
Cool. Yeah.
So you're all kind of around here at the moment, splitting up. All
sounds fine.
I am going to just pop off screen for one moment, folks, and I figured I could leave you the map and you can kind of discuss what the heck is going on for a split second. Back in 2 seconds.
Oh my god.
Right. Well, I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to when I find these people. I've got the choice of either stop in the name of Wizard School, or maybe just go straight in punching, come and swinging.
Yeah, because you haven't got permission yet, have you? Have you?
Well, I'm working under the jurisdiction of this wizard that I've just met. So
he's totally trustworthy.
Well, yeah. And look, if one of them just happened to keel over asleep while I was in the vicinity, that doesn't mean I use magic on them.
No.
People do that all the time, especially when they're muted, John.
Very good. I was going to say, yeah, no one could prove it was magic.
How's it going?
Yeah, good.
Good. You've solved the mystery now, then, folks.
Yeah, we
Yep,
decided
totally.
that grenades are the answer. Grenades.
Love it. Always a solution. I almost changed back to my notes before I came back on screen, but that would have been on the bottom screen. That would have been a little.
The wizard did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Insert TPK here.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, I'll stop sharing that again now. We can go back to our thing so I can look at my notes. So it's safe to say everything's got a bit chaotic now. I think
Just after we all met each other again, what are the chances?
Gustav Wilder has stood up and tried to move quickly towards Christoph in shock because he was kind of one of the main people he was interested in. So I think Okra, you presumably follow Vile over there as well. Kind of making your way through the crowd a little bit. But Henrik, you're right on top of him first. What are you trying to do then? Do you have anything you can do about poisons?
So I did buy an antitoxin kit, but it requires heal to use, which I don't have as a skill. But did you say that there are other, like the doctor's lesser apprentices around?
Yeah. There's the multiple. I mean, you assume there are other doctor's apprentices. So are you going to just look up at people and go?
I'll point at one and throw my antitoxin kit at them.
I think the usual cry in these circumstances is he's been poisoned, but not by me.
I think
pretty much.
I think this young woman who you just chucked the kit at just kind of panics and drops half of it and then goes to pick it up and just goes, Hans, what are we doing? What poison is this? I don't.
It's Black Lotus.
Oh my gosh.
It's like an exam.
By Sigma, yeah.
Think quick.
And then it's just like
Black Lotus,
tinkering with things.
straight to the bloodstream.
Yeah.
Probably very, very recently.
Okay.
I like the idea that like Henrik literally has like all because he knows it's Black Lotus. He's got like the Black Lotus like thing like taped to like a label on it.
I love it. That's adorable.
Use this. I just can't use it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trained.
I'm gonna make 2 rolls for the 2 apprentices. One I just made and they failed. The other one is now going to make a roll. The apprentices
Save him.
The apprentices are like, but I think there's probably like a combination of things that they use. There's both a needle and like a kind of, it's sort of like a pulse in the mouth, but it's sort of like almost like coal basically in the mouth.
Charcoal.
Charcoal effectively in the mouth. They stick in, but you can see like shaking hands, and they're completely out of their depths, and they're quite terrified. Henrik, I think you don't know medicine, but you know antitoxins. You think this man's going to die. Not that there's anything you can necessarily do about it. Sorry.
Well, if there's nothing I can do about it, I'm going to chase after the girl.
Yep, that's fair.
Fleeing the
Henrik
scene.
Does Henrik say anything or do anything thinking that this man's going to die, or you just turn around and leave? You can probably see Okri and Vile at this point. But...
I don't want to unnerve the apprentices any more than they already are, but I am going to shout to Vile. The girl is the poisoner. I'm chasing after her.
Okay. I think the town guards are like running in your direction as well. They're like, I don't know whether you don't know whether they're after you or they're trying to help you or what, but they're chasing in your direction. I think Vile definitely like he doesn't follow you, but he's like clocked you, obviously. Okri, you're with Gustav Vile as you basically see this man die. It's not a pleasant death. He kind of convulses. And then just continues to foam at the mouth, and he's just like all of his battles are gone. And after about 30 seconds to a minute, it stops, and people are like properly gasping, and there's a woman like screaming and stuff. It's not nice.
If I notice that would the town guard be coming past me to go towards Henrik?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because what I might do is I'm assuming everybody's kind of on one side of what is essentially now a body, right? Like everybody's
more or less,
because he left and then
he's kind of a bit down the stairs, and most people are behind, still in the chapel, looking down the stairs and looking northwards out. Mm-hmm.
So I might move past him and kind of face in that direction. I'm not planning on engaging in anything with the guards, but I want to be facing their way to, if they are chasing, to at least be able to put my friend's case forward in as few words as I possibly can.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are you trying to like catch them when they're running by, just to say kind of what?
Because I'm not sure what they're doing. Obviously, they may just stop here, but if they do look like they're going to continue after Henrik, then I want to be able to.
I think the guard captain who was along with Kruger earlier on between the 2 funeral processions. He's quite a short man. Actually, he's probably a little bit taller than you. Very round. He stops and looks around and goes, "By Ulrich, what is going on here? Oh gosh! Get after him! He just yells at one of the other young guards, pointing in the direction of Henrik.
So in that case, I will say, he's chasing the killer.
I think this guy kind of, well, it doesn't change the chasing, but they turn and like they definitely hear you. And the guard captain
What I want is for if they do catch Henrik up, for them to not immediately detain him.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
they have,
Detain.
They have a question mark in their head at the very least.
Yeah.
The guard captain turns to you then, given you're the only person who's off in, and he goes, "What happened here? Who's your friend chasing them? Did you see?"
I didn't see properly, but a girl apparently. Am I under the impression it's the one that was with the child?
I think maybe an intelligence roll. I think that's how much did you think and how much might you connect? There were other children here,
Ooh.
so
8.
Oh, very nice. It was going to be a plus 22. So yeah, you're certain that it was. In fact, now you think about it, you thought the child looked a bit suspicious previously, like they looked like they were trying to be, run under the radar effectively, trying to be a child a bit too much. So feel free to relay that if you like.
The woman with the child, the doctor. I think them.
And as you say that, this guy looks around and goes, "Her," and points towards the lady who was crying a lot, who had the job with her.
The child, but maybe speak to her as well.
Yeah, he immediately walks over to her, assuming she's in some way complicit or involved in this, and grabs her fairly roughly by the arm and brings her over to the body on the ground. The woman is crying and just like, "What are you doing? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And he starts questioning her about who this person was, and she just is crying and kind of breaking down. But I am going to make a roll for intimidation for him. Okay. Eventually, he's really quite forceful and genuinely scary, and she quietly goes, "Fine, I was paid to be. Jesus, stop hurting me. Look, I don't know about this. I'm just an actress." You probably look around, Okri, at this, thinking about that other guy, Albrecht, and you notice him walking away quite quickly from the graveyard, back up the way.
If there is another spare guard around, I'll tap them and point, and I will also head after Albrecht. But I think this guard may be faster than me, which is why I've also got them to.
Absolutely. Let's make a roll off. It'd be fun to see what's.
Are we just doing a roll or
Athletics?
Versus athletics. Oh, good.
Well, he got 3 success levels.
I got the equivalent the other way, basically.
Okri, you're jogging, but you don't have particularly long legs. The guard just sprints out in front of you. You don't really bother trying to keep pace. Albrecht turns around to see the guard and then just puts his hands up like that and goes, "Whoa," and stops and lets the guard catch up with him. He doesn't run off or anything. And actually, they start talking a moment before you get there, Okri. When you catch up, he's basically going, "Hey, well, what's all this about? I don't know about any murder plot. Jesus, nothing to do with me. I just..." And then I think he sits down for a moment and then sees you looking at him. Are you kind of trying to intimidate him and arrive like threateningly, Okri, or are you just curious? What's your kind of demeanor?
Is the guard sort of questioning him at all?
Yeah, he is. He's questioning. He's like, okay. "Well, what's your involvement in this? Do you know anything about this murder, etc., etc.? What's your relation to this woman and the child who was with her?"
So I'm going to let his questioning play out, and then if he, because it's his role, but if he doesn't ask why he was leaving the scene, then I think I would ask that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you ask that, and can you make me an intimidation roll? Because this is a fun opportunity for a bit of intimidation, isn't it? Plus 20. I think he's fairly intimidating.
Oh, yes, then. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 success level, was it?
0 success levels.
0. Well,
that's right, isn't it? I got 66 out of 67 with the.
I think.
But a double's only good in combat, right?
Yeah, no, a double's only a combat critical. I think he's like, stops and shakes his head and goes, "Oh, my Sigma gods, this is Look, this has nothing to do with me. I don't know anything about that child or whatever you're talking about. Her story. It's my story. He was my father. My mother cared for me for, well, my entire childhood life, and he never even acknowledged her. She's dead now. I guess I wanted vengeance. So I guess on his deathbed, but, well, perhaps it was cowardly of me to hire an actress to do it all. She is just an actress.
Did you also hire the child?
No, I just told her to bring someone. I have no idea who the child is. Look,
I'm just going to turn and walk off.
And as you walk off,
once it's stopped, yeah.
As you walk off, the guard stays and keeps questioning him. You just hear him say, "Look, I don't want him involved in any of this," and then that's the last you hear of talking to him. Let's go back to. I will come to Kruger and Henrik, Kruger and Boniface in a minute, but we have to have Henrik's chase. Henrik, did you roll that athletics? I can't remember. No, sorry, you were. Yes, you were chasing. That's right. Sorry, you did roll an athletics, didn't you, originally? And you succeeded, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll continue to use that. But obviously, person is out of sight now. You don't know where they are. But you dash into the bushes where you last saw them. Seems like an opportunity for a tracking roll to me, which is a skill, isn't it?
Do I have it?
You're an investigator. Surely you have tracking.
Intuition. Oh, I do. I just put it in a different part of my sheet to keep it separate from my rat catcher skills.
Ah.
What difficulty?
Plus 20. They've burst into the bushes in a panic. I don't think they're trying not to leave a trace.
19 under 59.
Very nice.
Four success levels.
Success levels indeed. Good stuff. So yeah, you immediately are on the trail. You can see where they've basically pushed through the thorns and actually torn some of their cloth and dashed through. You can see some muddy footprints, and you see the muddy footprints going onto the path that are looping round. So they're kind of looping round the east of the chapel beside things. Actually, I'd like to make another athletics roll to see how well you catch up. I'll just do it flat and compare it to their roll.
Flat is 1 success level.
Okay. Well, you're pleased to hear they get -1 success level. So I think a decent distance away, you see a small figure dash behind one of the the crypts, and dash to follow them as quick as you can. Let's cut to Kruger and Boniface, because there's quite a lot going on now. Things have got rather exciting, haven't they, folks?
Could be.
Boniface, you succeeded at your speed.
I did.
Didn't you? So you see two burly-looking, grubby men running right around the edge of the graveyard along the top side and kind of the west side. Basically just dashing back. I mean, you don't know where they're going. They just seem to be running around the edge. Are you going to try and run straight towards them, kind of hide and intercept them? Because they're kind of coming in your direction now. Or just get behind and follow them. You could.
I think I would like to intercept them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you can easily get within their path. Are you just kind of ready to jump out at them? What is the plan with interception?
Yeah, that is the plan. I did not bring any weapons to this funeral, or maybe I left them all on my horse, which I don't know where the hell that horse is, but something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just thinking if I would have anything with me. I don't think I'm going to bring a sword with me to a funeral. I think that's
Kruger's dagger was reasonable.
I wasn't allowed one.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I just run up to them and shout "Oi!"
Like
something like,
Time
"Where the hell do you think
tradition.
you're going?"
You're kind of in front of them in the path to the west, and they kind of slow for a moment, and one of them just yells, "Get lost, kid! Out of here, or you'll be in trouble!" And they keep running towards you.
Cool.
As if
I'm
to
going
power you down.
to try and I'm going to try and tackle the one that I think looks less tough. Like just try and just full on rugby tackle, knock them over.
Okay, well the tougher one's at the front, so they're trying to knock you over first.
Oh, bring it.
Okay, cool. This is going to be an opposed strength. I love it.
Give me a second. I'll just make sure I know I've got like strong backed. I wonder if this like
Worth
impacts
checking.
my.
Kruger, you can probably see this at a distance. Just about see the men running around the side of the graveyard from where you are. You know, they couldn't be seen from the main chapel, which is.
We make a melee basic roll, yeah? Oh no, strength.
No, this is just a opposed strength to see who grabs who or who forces who out of the way.
I got
flat and tell me how many success levels you got.
If it was 30, I got 3 success levels.
Okay. Sadly, they got 5 success levels because this guy's quite strong. You kind of go for a rugby tackle on their legs, but at the same time, they try and force you away with one of their arms. And you don't manage to get your arms around them. You end up sprawling on your side into one of the bushes. Let me just make one more roll. Yeah, they succeeded at that. So you're going to take 1 wound as well. Just one.
1 wound.
Yeah. You bruise.
Do I not get defense against that, like armor or something against it or something?
Were you wearing any armor in the graveyard?
No.
And no, you don't get any defense because it wasn't an opposed attack. It was just being
okay,
thrown
cool.
on the ground.
That's fine. I'm going to be like, running away then. That's what I thought. Like, I'm going to say as much antagonistic stuff as I can, try and bait them to slow down or come back.
Yeah, they don't. They seem to be on a mission for what it's worth watching them. And you can get up and start dashing after them. I'll give you a roll on that in a second.
I definitely will do that. Yeah.
Cool. Kruger, you've seen this happen. Still heading for the coffin? You're a distance away. You can't catch up with them anytime soon. But
I want to see what this coffin's about.
Okay.
Boniface runs off, does this kind of thing all the time.
I might have winced slightly when I saw saw the tackle.
Okay, you reach the coffin, which is, and now you're up here. You can see that by this, it's a big, tall back wall, but you can see by this back wall, there's actually kind of a bit of it that's partly fallen down behind some bushes, which isn't very visible from outside. But it's quite an easy place to get in and out of the graveyard without going through the main front.
Okay, right.
So you suspect that's where they were heading for, and they were almost there when they dropped the coffin. It looks like maybe trying to get it over this wall, actually. And the coffin, dead body in it. It's a dead body in the coffin. It's a bit old and rotten.
What are the chances of that?
You don't know who it is? There's nothing else remarkable about it, to be honest, to you. I mean, you could get in and have a look if you want to, but at a glance, it just looks like a body in the coffin. If there's something hidden in there. I don't mean get in the coffin.
No, okay. Well, I will... I guess I'll just sort of stand guard over it and keep looking at it, seeing if there's any sort of identifying features.
Sure. Okay, give me an coffin investigation. No, what's the most thinky roll? Is it just going to be intelligence, or is there anything?
The most thinky roll.
Yeah, just like figuring things out, sort of thing. It's probably just an intelligence, isn't it?
I guess that is actually better than my intuition. So I'm aiming at 34 for intelligence.
Plus 20.
Oh wow! Okay, well I rolled a 13.
Very nice.
So Kruger has a good thing.
You realise after a moment that this coffin has been buried before and apparently dug up. Make of that what you will. But it's definitely come back out the ground. Okay. And I think maybe as you look around now, you're up here, you can see actually a plot near the back in the porpoise plots that seems to have been dug up recently and patched over. So perhaps that's where they came from. It could have been someone else was buried in there recently, of course, but it seems like it might be a fair bet.
Are there any sort of, if it's a pauper's grave, I presume there are no names?
No, there's no names back here. This is the place for paupers and, thieves and robbers and the like.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll sort of, I'll hang around, make sure that they're not coming back. I guess try to get the attention of. Well, I'll see what Vile is up to. I don't know quite what he's
I think you probably can't pick him out at this distance very easily. It's a fairly big graveyard. You can kind of see the group of people, and he's quite an inconspicuous person. Okay, I think we are probably back with Henrik then. So Henrik, you rolled a good athletics. You are gaining on this small figure. I want to see if the figure's noticed you actually. Oh, you're just flat out running after them. You're not trying to kind of hide behind things and not be seen. What's the plan? The advantage of flat out running after them is you're much more likely to catch them. But downside, they'll probably see you.
Yeah, part of the thing is I'm starting to wonder whether I really want to catch the person with poison stabby things.
This is a good point.
Especially when I've given away my antitoxin kit. But
you couldn't have used it anyway, so
it's true. So there's no harm. Yeah, I'm just flat out running.
Okay, flat out running. Got it. In that case, yeah, literally a 1. In that case, you see this person turn when they go around the corner of one of the crypts, definitely clock you, and you see their face. They're a halfling, a small halfling woman. Not a child after all. And you could visibly see them swearing, looking at you. And then they dash round the back of a kind of what seems to be a barred up crypt, like with wooden bars on the front of it.
Okay.
You follow around the corner, and in the back is a small doorway to the crypt, which stands shut.
Can I open it?
Yep. I would like you to make me you just going in?
No.
Okay, what do you do? Describe your actions.
Opening it, and from the outside, I'm looking in and checking for any traps or halflings lying in wait.
Okay. Make me a perception roll flat.
That's a fail.
Mm-hmm. No one's there.
I'm going to roll my intuition to decide what Henrik makes of that. Because I think Henrik is also somewhat suspicious of his own ability.
Go for it. I'm happy to do that.
Which he completely fails.
Henrik and his death wish. Is Henrik dashing into the room?
Does anybody else know where you are?
No.
I don't think exactly. No, they've seen the direction.
Oh, Rinda, hang on, Rinda. We've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Rinda can find your needled corpse if necessary.
Actually, I'm going to make a roll for Rinda, because Rinda, I think, has got the sniff of this person now as well. So I'm going to make a roll for Rinda. Rinda rolls very well.
Thank God, Rinda.
I'm assuming
Rinda's just waving his paws.
I'm assuming Henrik is dashing into this room. This is what this is going as, right, John?
I felt the intuition, so yeah. Yeah, that's what
Rinda dashes in just before you. And that means that this individual has to make a hard roll.
Ooh. Remember, Rinda has plot armor.
Which they fail. Yeah, the hard roll was not to be distracted. Henrik.
Sure.
Henrik dashes in and finds the halfling woman whipping around to try and back Rinda aside, and in the other hand holding what is undoubtedly a needle. Thankfully for you, Rinda has distracted them, and while they swipe at you, you have plenty of time to move out of the way. For a split second, they're in the corner, you in front of them, and there's like a moment's pause when you're not sure whether you're about to leap on them, they're about to leap on you, if you see what I mean. It's like a freeze. Let's cut to Okri back at the temple, shall we? So Okri, you've stormed back to the temple. I think you find Gustav Weil probably talking with the guards, with over the body of Christoph. Actually, I think he's moved a little bit away from everyone else and is talking with the head guard captain, making sure not to, so no one else can hear. But if he sees you, he'll nod at you, like, you can come over, you're all good.
Yep, I will head over then.
And you catch them kind of mid-conversation, and he's basically saying, Please don't reveal this to anyone else, but I believe there's a good chance that it was a confounding factor in this man's death, perhaps the reason he was a target. And they'll nod at you, Okri, and say, I was just mentioning, I would not be surprised if this man, Christoph, I believe his name was here, was also complicit in the necromantic arts.
Hmm.
Did your fellow chase after the would-be assassin? Well, successful assassin.
Yes.
Are they okay?
I have no way of knowing at the present time.
Did you see where they went? We should probably go after them, I suppose. I'm very
I
reluctant.
did see direction, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I am very reluctant to leave this coffin unattended, however. Mr. Schwartz, and he looks at the Captain Schwartz, I suppose to say. He looks at the guard captain. Would you please see if you can rescue our brave colleague? And then he'll probably look to you up to be like, which direction?
I'll point. It was it sort of northwest?
East.
Is that right?
Northeast.
East.
They've kind of gone round the temple, so they've kind of looped round to the south, but you might not know that. You definitely know the direction they went in. It's worth saying, as you look in that direction, you see the guard who actually chased after Henrik doing kind of this.
Okay.
So they clearly failed to follow.
That way, although whether they've continued that way, I'm not sure. And I'll point the guard out to the as well.
Yeah. He'll go, I guess the priority has to be getting this assassin, and just stomps off after. Are you staying there, Okri? You go.
I think I would stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Because then at least there's somebody here if somebody else comes back. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You stay still if you get lost, don't you? So, like, you know, everybody else can come back to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's worth saying at this point as well, the first and rec party are getting very frustrated, and there's some yells going up, like, what's taking so long, from them now waiting in the pouring rain for the ceremony. And Father Owen has spent a lot of time trying to reassure the crowd, despite the fact someone's died here. And he's talking about how sad an affair it is. And please everyone remain calm and remain on the premises and this sort of thing. Until the guard can do a proper investigation, etc. Boniface, you wanted to chase, correct?
Absolutely.
Give me that speed athletics, and I'll roll for these two. I'm going to give them an advantage because they pushed you over and got ahead of you, but that is a 99. Okay. The guy who pushed you over kind of loses balance and falls over, and takes a moment to get back up. The other one dashes off and round the corner. I'm going to bring up the map again because I think it'll be helpful.
I failed, but only with like a -1 success level.
Okay.
So that I might fail less badly than others. That would be my hope.
Yeah. You more or less. There we go. The map up there. We can have a look. Yeah, so you are like on this side of the graveyard now, the west side. You run effectively all the way down this side. Well, they ran down this side, and you intercepted them about here. One of them was dashed around this corner. So he's probably actually visible from the main temple now, if anyone were looking. The other one tripped over, and you've caught back up with him. The one who pushed you over, actually. He's tripped over here on the west side.
Cool.
So
is he currently prone?
He's kind of getting up. It's why I say Kruger's up here and Henrik's down here. And
can I cast a spell on him with a touch attack?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I get any bonuses to the touch attack? Because he's,
yes, I think you can. I think it would give it a +20. Although it makes you wonder: is the touch attack the casting of the spell or the hitting them with the touch?
I have to touch them first. Touch is not the casting of the spell. That's the. You have to be able to touch them in order to.
Okay, in that case, get a +40 on the touching part.
Okay.
Well, then I pass. Spells can fail, right? Oh,
yes.
They can fail. So I make contact in order to deliver the spell, and then I need to do a magic language test
Yep.
to cast the spell.
And you need success levels according to the spell from this.
Which is a 0. I need 0 success levels, but I still fail that spell.
Well, is it? I just need to double check if it's a flat or if it's a +20 for a typical casting.
I think it's flat.
You think it's flat? Okay. It's going to take me a long time to look it up, so I probably
Don't worry about it. I'm in charge of magic. I learn the magic rules. I fail the spell, but I'm pretty sure I don't have any negative impact.
It has to be a crit for it to be negative impacts. You just don't.
Well, I think if you pass with a double, you can also have negative impacts too.
Yes, that would be a critical because it's like a combat roll.
But I don't manage to. I've kind of. Yeah,
You capture nothing happens. The winds do not respond to your call.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. The guy just elbows you off as you kind of just basically just place your hand upon him, and then gets up to scramble away. I think he probably gets a little bit away from you again because you managed to. Yeah, exactly. Because you're kind of distracted by doing that for a moment, and you round the corner to find the lead man, and the following one just behind him. But the lead man you notice is bursting his way into the Lederman crypt. And we will end the session there.
Cool.
Hey, folks. It's been a bit of an eventful funeral, isn't it?
Well, if you go... Yeah. I've been to some funerals more eventful than that.
And it's only the first interview of the morning. The first funeral of the morning.
Yeah. Still got the first and rest funeral to come.
Who knows what's going to happen in the next one?
We probably need to intern that guy again who was in the coffin, so we might get a hat trick of funerals today.
Oh gosh! And there's a guy who
business for this priest.
There's at least 4 funerals today. Wow.
Maybe the priest is behind it. He's upping his.
There's been a real lack of funerals recently.
When he shows up to my forge and starts asking me for like golden armor, and has the cash to pay for it, I'll be suspicious.
Amazing.
Well, hey, maybe that's why he went after the doctor, because the doctor was saving too many people, and there weren't enough funerals.
That is a plot for a Deadline story.
That is an amazing plot. I like it. Whew, that was a busy session. I was trying to keep all of the ridiculous little plot lines in my head. I think everything happened. That was fun.
You didn't make it easy for yourself, definitely.
Well, to be fair, I mean, no one look it up, but I'm running one of the pre-writtens for the intro section for this story, like I did with the last one as well. And this is the most fun pre-written scenario I've ever seen, so I couldn't resist it, because it is fairly complicated. You could probably already see why I loved it. It's already very entertaining. Going to get even funnier. Yeah, we'll chat about that once we finish the actual scenario a bit more. Is there any questions, comments, that sort of thing to bring up, John? Anyone to react?
Oh, there was some good chat today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much for the good chat. Always nice to have people involved. Sorry, I don't look at it very often. Would it be 42? Would it be too boring for once the conspiracy theorist to be wrong in a piece of entertainment? Love it. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be great? I'm trying to think of how many conspiracy theories you've thrown out there might be. I think some might be kind of close to right. So you've had quite a few though. So, I mean, this is Warhammer. If there's going to be anything where the conspiracy theories are proved right, it's going to be this.
Yeah, it's awkward when you're a conspiracy theorist and you're following the plot, because your plot, maybe I just need to be more incredibly obviously wrong. But sort of when I walk into a town and several people are dead, then it's easy to go, conspiracy.
True. And there's a shipment of poison, and and also one of the characters is along with someone who's investigating necromancy.
And the twist that will be that we get to the end and all of these elements are completely unrelated to one another.
Who could say? Anything else to bring up? Oh, drink 'em all. Just it. Complicit in the necromantic parts. What a euphemism. Is that how you spell euphemism? Sorry, I shouldn't complain about that.
I don't know. No, because there's no S in it. So euphemism. Is it
no, I think it's euphemism.
I can't even read or spell.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just pointing out spelling rather than enjoying the comment.
Fucking hell.
How do you spell euphemism, Sam?
It's with an E instead of an A. In the
Is
middle
it?
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Spell it. Spell it out loud. Shame
Uh,
yourself.
No, I know how to spell it. It's right there, but with an E. EUPHEMIS.
Wow. And you just keep this up forever, do you?
John asked for it. It's not my fault. Steve, a good conspiracy theorist has so many theories that one of them has to be right. But the thing is, would a conspiracy theorist have a boring theory? And what if it's actually a boring answer? I mean, it's not. It's a fun answer, but to be honest, I can't imagine what a mundane answer for this mystery would be.
No. What if? I mean, it could have been if the girl was really just a girl and she just happened to run past Christoph when he died of a completely unrelated genetic disorder that made him foam at the mouth. He just happened to die of rabies at that exact moment.
And the people at the back of the churchyard are actually just
they're just resurrection men that had nothing to do, and they just picked a really bad time to do their
Really
grave
bad time.
Really bad time in the middle of a funeral.
That is
The corpse had already been removed to have something checked, and they were just moving it to a new plot because the old plot became unsuitable, and they dropped it while doing it and thought, shit, we've dropped so many caskets, we're gonna lose our jobs.
This is it, we're finished, we're gonna run for it. Clearly this is the answer. Is there anything else?
Let's see.
That was such a fun session. I enjoyed that a lot. Jonny, if you're going to wear armor anywhere, surely it's in a graveyard. I mean, in this world, yeah, to be fair. I feel like anything but a ceremony, it would probably be not too suspicious to be walking out in a graveyard in armor. Because I mean, most people are aware that the like dark forces can steal your soul, and like people can come and raise your mortal body from the ground and force it to do their bidding. So graveyard's scary places to be. I know about most people, but I mean, most people are at least aware of stories about it.
That is everything from chat, but we also have a thank you to Nightbites for the resub, and a thank you to Tealmerm for the follow.
Thank you very much, folks. Cool. I think that's us all done then. So thank you very much for joining us for this rather entertaining session of Warhammer. I had a great time this evening. I hope you did too. We will be back next Monday. Yes, we will. We were discussing whether we will or not. We're going to be back next Monday for more Warhammer. Check out the rest of the week. Is Blade Runner on this week on Wednesday, John? Or is it?
No, not this week.
Wednesday.
Hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. Blade Runner will be on. We'll be back again on Thursday for Wicked Ones this week. It's actually switching schedule a little bit because of various things going on. Rather than Big Wet, and the Big Wet will be back next Thursday. And so this Sunday is going to be our one-shot, which is Death in Space. So come check that out as well, 3 p.m. GMT on Sunday. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. Please check out all of our social media and YouTube if you're not, Twitch if you're not, all below, Discord, good stuff. Thanks to patrons. Check that out too. Bye-bye.